All right, Casper and Dennis here for Submission Radio, proudly presented by Manscaped, the official electric trimmer of the UFC. Sitting here with a very important man, the man who will be cornering the other man, who is the lightweight champion, who will be taking on the pound-for-pound number one this weekend for the lightweight belt, actually defending the lightweight belt. We could talk about how Islam Makhachev rides a horse more majestically than anybody else. We could talk about the long flight that you took, Javier. We won't get into all that. I'm curious, Javier Mendez, how did you fit into this camp, right? Because Islam came basically from the snowy mountains. He's taking snow baths, and then you met him here on the other side of the world in Perth. How did that all work? How did the synergy work?
Well, originally, Khabib had told me that they wanted to train in Dagestan for the majority of the camp, and that if I was, because I couldn't go to Dagestan. So they said if I was okay with coming here like 3 weeks out, and I said, yeah, okay. And I said, I go, but in my mind, I'm going, man, that flight, I'm like, oh boy.
How was it? Break it down for us.
It wasn't so bad this time around, but the last time I was here going back was like 37 hours of just waiting and 20-something hours of flight time. Oh, it was fun. This time around wasn't as bad.
I love, you know what I love about this? Khabib's basically like, yeah, Javier, come out to Perth. We'll do the fight over here. And then it's like, by the way, guys, I'm leaving MMA. See you later. Javier, but have a good flight. Like, I wonder, now that we're in fight week, I know we spoke about this a couple of weeks earlier, how does it feel not having Khabib? And has he FaceTimed you guys? Has he been a part of this at all?
He's always been a part of the guys, and that's one of the things that people don't understand is that he's always with the guys. Whether he's with them here personally or not, he's always on the phone, always watching film. So he's always with the guys. He just wants to spend time with his family.
So he's been calling.
Yeah, he's been calling. FaceTime. He'll call me. He'll text Islam or call. Actually, those guys don't really like texting. It's FaceTime. They like FaceTime. And so I FaceTime them. I send them videos of what's going on, and he gives me his opinions, and he'll talk to Islam, and him and I will discuss, hey, can you talk to Islam? Can you do this or that? And of course, coach. He's already ahead of me. He's such a good coach that he's already doing all the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps, to get Islam mentally prepared. But the great thing about Islam is he's very low maintenance, almost zero maintenance. He's kind of like he knows everything. It's like DC said, Khabib looks like his controllers. Like Islam just goes into, it's amazing. It's amazing how he can just go into it. He knows what to do. You don't have to tell him more than one time.
You were saying like Khabib was a bit of a renegade. He'd sometimes do what he wanted in the cage, but Islam listens to you very well. So it makes sense. I wonder though, how did game planning go, right? Like if he's in Dagestan training for the majority of the camp, how hard was it to game plan and sort of like tell him, hey, this is the plan that we're doing, even though you're only going to see him in these last few weeks?
Well, good thing you asked that, but let me give you the simple answer on that one, which you'll get. For one of his fights in Las Vegas, this last one recently, when he fought the Brazilian kid, forgot his name. But anyways, we had the game plan of standing. We were going to stand with him.
Charles Oliveira.
Yeah. No, not Charles.
That was Abu Dhabi. Thiago Moises?
The one in, yes. Yeah. Moises, yeah. We were just going to stand with him. There was no ground. We were just going to stand with him. Okay. I'm walking out. Since he was the first one out, I looked at him. I said, hey, Khabib, he looks a little smaller than I thought. I go, let's change plan. Let's go to the ground. Let's just take him to the ground. And he looks at me, goes, yeah, you're right. I think you're right. I think that's the better plan. So we tell Islam as we're walking out, Islam, change the plan. Take him to the ground. So what am I saying?
The whole game plan went out the window.
Because Islam is that well trained. We can change it on a dime. We can do whatever. He's that good. I don't say this guy's the most well-rounded lightweight in the history of MMA out of the champions for no reason. I'm saying it because this guy's that good everywhere. So if I tell Islam, no, stand, he'll stand. Go to the ground. He'll go to the ground. He can do anything. And that's why he's so easy to game plan with. So easy.
Do you see that potentially happening for this fight against Alex Volkanovski, where like you just said, Thiago looks smaller than you expected. If Alex comes out and he looks smaller than you guys expected, do you see yourselves maybe even changing the game plan, that close to the fight?
Well, okay, there's one big disparity between Alex and Moises. Okay, Alex doesn't have the kind of ground game that Moises has. Okay, so there's an obvious choice for anybody. The betting odds are going with Islam because he's the bigger guy, the better grappler, and he's great at taking people down. So obviously they're betting on that, right? So obviously, in my mind, I'd be foolish to think we just want to stand with Alex. No, obviously we want to take him down, but he's got different plans on can he be taken down, and if you take him down, are you gonna keep him down? So obviously, his camp is working on ways to get back up, and will they be successful? Of course, my job is to say no, but we'll see come fight time. But there's an obvious difference between those two. Okay, and it's one's got a great ground, which is Moises, and Alex doesn't have a great ground, but he's got good ground, and he's super strong. That's one of the things that I'm not underestimating him. He is super strong. And probably out of all the people Islam has fought, I would say he's the most super strong-willed. He is super, super strong and mental. And he does not believe anybody can beat him. And those individuals are very difficult because they won't quit no matter what. Even when you think you have them, you don't, because he finds a way to get out. So my job and Magomed's job and our other coach's job is to make sure that we keep Islam on track, because it could come to that point where we could be in that, that stage where we're thinking it's over. It's not over till it's over. No way. Not with this guy. No way.
I want to talk a little bit about Alex's coaches and their game plan in a sec, but I just want to go back because I was watching the countdown and there was that moment where Islam was having a lot of success against Charles Oliveira and Khabib kind of got riled up in the corner cam. And I saw there was a moment where Javier kind of grabs Khabib's arm a little bit and almost like you're saying, all right, like let's relax a little bit. I was trying to understand what was happening in that moment. Can you kind of take us into that?
Well, Khabib has a way of getting really amped up for the fights like his father used to, and you got the commissioners behind us that work, and they basically tell us do not get up, do not do this and that. So I'm always trying to keep the guys calm so they can focus on the fight. Yeah. When they lose all this excitement, they lose what potentially they could say next. So I try to calm them down. So I'm always doing that. But if you look at the fights from when I first started cornering with Khabib till the most recent, I do a lot less of it because he's got so good at controlling himself and becoming a better coach. You can yell all you want, but that doesn't make you a better coach. It just makes you a person that yells a lot, right? But if you give the right advice and you say, okay, blah, 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 okay, blah, 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 great. But if Khabib's going, blah, 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 it's like, but if you say the same thing, but you say it in a very calm, relaxed, manner, the results will be better.
And I feel like Javier is the only guy in the world that could grab Khabib on the arm and go, okay, let's relax here. That's not going to work out for anybody else.
That's a possibility because we have super high respect for each other. I love him to death, and so he does respect me, and I highly respect him. And for me, it's a love, big time love right there between us.
Just on the training, coaching side of things, when it comes to Islam, people see him and his style in general as like something that you just can't stop. You know what's going to happen, but you can't stop it, right? And I wonder, in training, has anyone been able to stop Islam? Like, has he actually faced that kind of adversity? Has he gone through that process? There's obviously Adriano Martins who, stopped him. But like in training, is there someone who regularly gives him that adversity and gives him a taste of what it could be in one of these fights where he comes up, against a brick wall, like what Alex is saying he's going to be this weekend?
Yeah. Khabib.
But Khabib's not there anymore.
But you asked me, I'm just telling you, Khabib.
So how does that work out? Like
he dominates everybody like he always has. The only person that he doesn't dominate but does win rounds from is Khabib.
That's got to make it tough though, right? You're preparing for a guy like Volkanovski, and if no one's giving you those challenges...
I don't know, because in all honesty, for a lot of his last fights, Islam wasn't using Khabib for much of the sparring. He was using other guys. So Islam's just so good, guys. He's just so good, and look, anybody can get knocked out. You can make a wrong move. You get KO'd. That could happen. Could happen to Alex. It could happen to us. but on a decision type of situation, outpointing him, that's going to be very, very difficult for anybody to accomplish that. Even to win a round against Islam is going to be very difficult for anybody to do. He's just that good. That's just a fact. I'm not trying to be cocky. I'm not trying to be this. He's just that good.
It's interesting, we were talking about mentalities before, and you were talking about Alex's championship mentality, and I was thinking about Islam and how he approaches the sport. And correct me if I'm wrong, but to me, when I look at Islam, it almost seems like he actually looks at it as a sport. Like, it's not personal. He's got a job to do. He goes out there, and the feeling I get from him is it doesn't matter who's in there. He's always going to go in there. He's going to do what he needs to do. He's going to come back. He's not really emotional about it. He knows there's a job to do, and that's the kind of feel I get whenever he's doing face-offs, whenever he's doing press conferences. Like, he has no animosity towards his opponents, really.
He's never had any animosity towards any opponent that I know of. So I would have to say you're more correct than not, because I've never seen him say, I'm going to smash this guy. I don't like this guy, coach. I've never seen him say that ever. I've never heard him be disrespectful to me about any of his opponents. I've seen him make little comments like with Alex, little short guy, But damn well he respects Alex. He knows Alex is his pound for pound number one. And why does he want to challenge? Because he's number one. Well, why does Alex want?
He's not taking him lightly at all.
No,
because it's almost like whenever you see Islam talking about Alex, there's that smirk, and I think some people might take it as like he's not even really, taking him. He's taking him seriously, but there's almost a sense of like he's not on my level. You're saying there's none of that.
No, he's taking him serious, because in order for him to be in that position where he can feel he's not his level, is to elevate his training, and which is what he's done. And like Alex, in order for Alex, when's the last time Alex got this excited, talked this much about this and that? When? Because he's elevated his training also, and he has to. Because why? Because he's got a bigger challenge in front of him than he's ever had before. So Islam is looking at pound for pound the number one guy. You think Khabib is taking Alex not serious? Khabib knows this is one of the most dangerous fights. For me, I'm not so sure it is. It might very well be. But we are taking them very serious. Khabib's definitely taking Alex very serious. And he told me straight up, coach, this is a very tough fight.
But why do you think Khabib earmarked this fight? Like, why do you think he wanted Islam to come here to Perth to do this? Because it feels like a lot of people in that position might not even want to take that kind of risk.
Well, I think that there was talks about a potential, because there was talks about Alex clearing out the division, and he talked about he might want to go up, and what better way to challenge, after a victory like that, challenge Alex, because, and what Khabib became the fighter to the coach promoter. Yeah. You saw what a great promo he did. I mean, come on, he did a great promo, so he sold that fight. But, Alex being Alex who he is, being number one and wanting to go up himself to prove himself was a big selling point too. And let's face it, when in the history have we had in the UFC or anywhere that I know of pound for pound number one versus pound for pound number two and a title's at stake? I don't think it's ever happened.
Do you think it's almost better that Khabib kind of exited stage left? Because now it's the Islam show. And there was almost this always association with Islam and Khabib, which is great because they came up together, right? But I feel like now the attention's almost more on Islam. Do you get the sense he can kind of get out from Khabib's shadow, so to speak?
It works two ways, right? Not having Khabib here sucks.
Oh, yeah, we love him here as well.
For me, it sucks because I love him here around here. Yeah. So from that respect, for Islam too, because having the support, having his energy, having his wisdom is incredible for us. But we have a job to do, and he's got great trainers in Makhachev, who's the head coach. He's a great trainer. I've said it on the Countdown show. This is a great trainer, and he's the head coach over there. And he pretty much got Islam really ready. And then Saif, who is also the Taekwondo Olympic coach for not Dagestan, but for the Olympic coach, right? He's not here yet, but he'll be here later. He'll be here fight time. He's also instrumental in getting Islam ready. So Islam has a lot of great coaching. So Khabib got the biggest attention, but he wasn't the number one biggest coach. You understand? Like I'm doing a lot of it. Magomed's doing the majority of it. Saifullah's doing a lot of it. But Khabib gets the more of the attention because he's the most famous, you know. But Khabib does put in his time with him. But other people spend a lot of time with him too that are really high level.
You mentioned how he got everyone excited, right? And he kind of sold the fight. Do you feel like this is being promoted as much as it should be? Like this is, like you mentioned, number 1, number 2, pound for pound. It's a genuine super fight. Somebody is moving up in weight. This doesn't happen, you know, every day or every year. And a lot of people have commented on there should be more promotion. Dana White forgetting Islam Makhachev's name. I mean, what do you make of it all?
Well, no one's told me, but in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, they're promoting the new league, you know, that they're doing on you know, the slap fight thing, right? They're promoting that, so they're spending time doing that. And I think between all that going on, and then there's the Bellator fight with Fedor, which was a big deal, right? You don't want to go up against that either, because on CBS, that was a major big push, right? How well it did, I don't know, but you wouldn't want to spend a lot of time during that, right? But now that the time is ripe, right? Now I would think that the UFC machine is pushing forward with this one, because let's face it, a real fan, number 1 versus number 2, I'm sold. Tune me in, you know. That's what it comes down to, right? Number 1 versus number 2. The Super Bowl, number 1 versus number 2, or, you know, these guys are going for this is the Super Bowl. You know, this is it. This is the championship, NBA championship right here. Number 1 and number 2. There we go. I mean, so how can you not? That sells itself, you know. So getting the word out, okay, fine. But you know, you talking to your friend's talking to his friend. Did you watch number 1's fight number 2? Oh yeah. Oh, let's tune in. Oh yeah, heck yeah. We're all gonna tune in because number 1 is fighting number 2.
I want to quickly touch on what could be next for Islam if everything goes to plan here in this fight. Obviously, Alex is moving up in weight. He's taken on this challenge of trying to get this title of Islam. But I wonder, with the lightweight division the way that it is right now, do you see in the near future the potential of Islam potentially doing the same, trying welterweight and seeing if he can claim 2 titles as well?
I 100% see that. And the reason why I see that is because Islam wishes that, okay? And when he wishes that, he's going to will it to happen. So he's going to train, he's going to clear out the division like he wants to do, and then he's going to go for the welterweight title, and whoever that person at that particular time is going to be, I feel he's going to beat.
So he's mentioned this to you, like, when was the first time Islam was like, hey, welterweight, this is in my plans?
I heard him in an interview. I don't know who it was with, but I heard him in an interview. Then he told me that that's what he wants to do. He wants to go, what do you think? Go up to welterweight, you know? And I said, yeah, you can do that. I thought he could do that. 100%.
When did he speak with you about that?
This was shortly after. I don't remember exactly, but after he won the title, he was like, yeah, you know, what do you think? I said, yeah. You know, and it's just like with Khabib, I never heard Khabib talk anything about other than lightweight. That's it. Khabib never said welterweight, middleweight. But in my eyes, what I seen in my eyes in the gym for all the years I've had Khabib could have been the lightweight, the welterweight, and the middleweight champion in my eyes.
Do you think that's something that could separate the two? Like if Islam was to go up and be a double champ?
What's that?
Do you think that's something that could separate the two? Because a lot of people wanted Khabib to go up to welterweight, and it just never ended up happening, right? He retired, you know, early for personal reasons, and people understand that. But with Islam, like, there's always the GOAT discussion, right? And if people, like, obviously you consider Khabib the GOAT, but if Islam was to go up to welterweight, he's very much in that discussion.
Yes, for sure. He's definitely in that discussion for sure. And it's just like, you know, at one point when Cain Velasquez was doing as well as he was in that discussion, Tolson, the injuries, et cetera. And then Fedor, remember, dropped, but then Fedor came back, and now undoubtedly everybody knows the greatest of all times, Fedor. You know, so in reference to what you're saying, yeah, I think that Islam going up to welterweight can change that trajectory of who is the greatest. Yes, it can happen.
Just quickly before we get off welterweight, how well do you think he would do in that division? And just marketing idea, Islam versus Hamzat. What do you think?
Well, first of all,
I feel like it's a dream fight.
I think if that fight happened to be a dream fight, but I kind of look at Hamzat, to be honest with you, as being the 185-pound champ, because I see him as a unstoppable at 185. I really do. I see this guy as at 185. I see him being the champion. So I don't ever see him and Islam, in my eyes, ever crossing, because I think Hamzat's going to rule the 185-pound division, and he's such a big guy that I wouldn't doubt it if he even wanted to go to the light heavyweight. That's what I think of him. He's incredible. In my eyes, what I seen. First time I seen him training at the Apex Training Center when he had just got over COVID, right? I watched this guy and I went, wow, no wonder everybody's talking about him. He's special. He's definitely special. 100% definitely special. But I don't ever see those two fighting, only because in my mind, I just see Hamza's just too big. And I see him going 185 and up. I do see him going up to light heavyweight, believe it or not. He's tall enough. Yeah. He's tall enough. He carries the weight. And his wrestling pedigree is, come on. That guy has got incredible grappling. You can't tell me not. He is incredible. And you either love him or you hate him, but you got some response to him. You're going to have a response to him because he's going to make you love him or he's going to make you hate him. One or the other. You're going to have something to say about him.
We don't want to take up too much of your time, so I want to finish on this.
I still got a couple more.
Couple more? Okay. Well, Cass, we've got a couple more. We'll hang in there for a bit longer. If things go to plan this weekend and Islam is able to do this, beat Alex like you believe he will, what will that personally mean for you? Like, what will this milestone mean for you in terms of the accomplishments that Islam's made? Because just going back to it, this isn't a fight that everybody would have taken. Not everybody would have wanted to go to Perth to take this fight. Alex's home soil. He's a super dangerous fighter, number one pound for pound. Where does this sit for you if he's able to get it done?
Well, it just says that Islam is as real as we say he is. And I would have felt proud that we, as all the coaches, put in the great work to get him there. And he, the fighter, did everything he was supposed to do, and he did it correctly, because that's what this guy does. It's like what I equate what Islam does. Islam doesn't do just a little or too much, He always does right. He doesn't do less. He doesn't do more. He just does right, He's everything he does is not over the top. It's not under. It's perfect, That's how I can equate what this guy's all about. So for him being successful means that he earned it because he did everything correct. A perfect example of what I'm talking about. We're going to go to the mountains over here to go look at some scenery up in the mountains. So we went up in the mountains, and first thing in my mind, I'm thinking, it's kind of hot out here. I don't think it's a good idea. Islam should be walking. I didn't have to say a word. Islam says, you guys go, I'm going to stay here. I'm not going to walk. That's Islam. That's how easily coachable he is. I didn't have to say, hey, Islam, no, don't want you to go. I don't have to tell him. He's so coachable. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable how coachable he is. It's like I tell him something, he goes, yeah, okay. Done. With Khabib, I had to remind him, Khabib. like for instance, with Justin Gaethje, I said, Khabib, he's coming after your legs. I tell him every day, Khabib, he's coming after your legs. Coach, why do you keep telling me he's coming after my legs? I'm going to focus too much on the legs. I go, I understand that, but that's what he's going to do because that's the way I see him getting you. It's coming after your legs. Okay, coach, but I don't want to. I go, don't worry about it. I don't want you to think about the calf kicks. Let me worry about it, okay? But I'm going to still on it. Then after the fight's over, Javier goes, Coach, why'd you tell him about the calf kicking? But with Islam, it isn't going to be none of that. There's no question about anything. He's perfect.
Okay, second last one, and we'll get out of your hair. Just on the coaching. Oh, we could chat. We could chat for hours, but doesn't matter. Okay, 2 for 1. What if Alex gets up? And on that, what goes through your head when Islam says he wants to knock Alex out? He doesn't want to just be known as a wrestler. He wants to knock him out because we see people fall in love with their strike, and we saw that with Kamaru Usman very recently. When things don't exactly go to plan. So what goes through your mind?
Well, what goes through my mind is what's been going through my mind through the whole training camp. That's game planning. Okay, so mentally, he's been prepared mentally for what every one of those occasions that I can't divulge to you, but we already had these discussions many times over.
Do you think he could knock him out if he tried? If
Well,
Alex gets up and he's forced to stand?
If you look at it this way, he dropped Charles. Okay, he dropped the other guy. What's his name? I made you forget his name.
I know who you're thinking of. Yeah. The guy. Yep.
Yeah, the guy. He dropped the guy.
Yeah.
He dropped the guy.
Yeah.
So he has power. He has power. He's got it all. He can kick. He can punch. He's got great defense. So I'm not going to be shocked with anything Alex can do, because why? He's one of the... he's not one. He is the greatest featherweight champion of all time. Can we not agree on that? I think we can, right?
Yeah, 100%.
100%, right? So
there's been some great ones, but
he's the greatest. Yeah. So how can you dispute anything that guy can do? Okay. You cannot.
That's good that you say that, right? Last one, and this is on that greatest discussion, right? Khabib's basically the greatest, right? In your eyes?
In my eyes.
Yeah. Okay. I know you said Fedor before, but Khabib's the greatest.
Fedor's a heaviest heavyweight.
Yeah, okay. But Khabib's the greatest overall, right? Islam's the only guy who, was able to match him in training, right? So you would think that Islam is kind of like the heir to the throne. But if Volko moves up, and let's say, I know you say Islam wins, but if Volko was somehow able to win, would you call Volko the GOAT?
I would say he's in the talks of it, yeah, and a lot of people would call him that, 100%. Yes. I couldn't disagree with that. How can you? Look what he's done. So yes. I think that would be a correct call.
Well, for now, Javier, we're just happy to have you on home soil. I'm happy you did the flight. It was worthwhile, and a historic night coming up this Sunday, live here in Perth. Thank you so much for joining us, and best of luck. We can't wait for this one.
Thanks.